Who are you? Right now, you probably think you know the answer. You have a name, a body, a personality, memories. But what if I told you that everything you think you are is changing right now, in this very moment? Welcome back to Dharma Scientist. Today, we're going to discover something extraordinary. Something that both quantum physics and the Buddha discovered thousands of years apart. The question is simple. Who are you, really? Let's start with what we can observe. You can be understood as having two main aspects: your body and your mind. Your body is what you can see and touch. Your mind is the functioning energy, the experiencing, the recognizing, the acting, and the awareness itself. Most people think they know their body. But let's look closer. Much closer. Your body is made of cells. Cells are made of molecules. Molecules are made of atoms. Atoms are made of electrons, protons, and neutrons. And these are made of even tinier things, quarks and leptons. But here's where it gets fascinating. These fundamental particles are not solid things. They are vibrations of energy, patterns of probability, waves of potential. Everything you call matter, your body, this chair, the ground beneath you, is actually organized energy, vibrating in different forms. Now, here's something even more mind-bending. If an atom were the size of a football stadium, the nucleus would be a tiny grain of sand in the center. Everything else, empty space. Scientists calculate that your body, what feels so solid, so real, is actually 99.9999% empty space. Let me give you a sense of how extreme this is. Imagine if we could somehow remove all that empty space and compress only the actual matter in your body together. If you weigh 60 kilograms, your entire body, every bone, every muscle, every organ, all that matter would compress to something smaller than a grain of rice. You could place it on top of a sugar cube. Just a tiny speck, barely visible to the naked eye. But here's the mind-bending part. It would still weigh 60 kilograms. All that mass, in almost no space at all. That's how much of you is actually just empty space. So right now, as you sit here watching this, your body feels solid and real. But the truth is, you're mostly emptiness. Vast space, with tiny points of concentrated energy, vibrating in patterns. And your senses interpret all of this as solid matter. In fact, you have never actually touched anything in your entire life. When you think you're touching something, what's really happening is, the electromagnetic field of your hand's electrons is repelling the electromagnetic field of the object. You're feeling the repulsion of energy fields. Nothing ever truly makes contact. So this solid body you think you have is mostly empty space, filled with dancing energy fields that are constantly changing. But wait. If your body is mostly empty space, and everything is just energy fields, then why can't your hand pass through a wall? Here's what's actually happening. When you try to push your hand through a wall, the electromagnetic field of the electrons in your hand repels the electromagnetic field of the electrons in the wall. It's not solid matter touching solid matter. It's energy field pushing against energy field. The repulsion is so strong, it feels like you're touching something solid, but you never actually make contact. Now, when you tap the wall and hear a sound, what's really happening? The collision creates vibrations, energy waves moving through the air. These vibrations reach your ear and cause tiny parts inside your ear to vibrate. These vibrations are converted into electrical signals that travel through nerves to your brain. But here's the fascinating part. Inside your ear, there is no sound, only vibrations. Inside your brain, there is no sound, only electrical signals. The sound only appears in the mind. The mind is like the headquarters of the senses. Some would like the brain, but not exactly the brain. The mind is a different kind of sense organ, one that the other senses cannot perceive. So when you feel like you're touching the wall, what's actually there? Just vibrations. When you hear the sound, what's actually in the ear? Just vibrations. What's in the brain? Just electrical signals. The experience of touching, the experience of hearing, these arise only when consciousness, when mind, interprets these signals. Think about this carefully. The world you experience is not the world as it actually is. It's the world as your mind constructs it, from vibrations, from electromagnetic signals, from patterns of energy. You are not experiencing reality directly. You are experiencing your mind's interpretation of reality. So we've seen that the world you perceive is constructed by your mind. But what about the body itself? This physical form that houses all these sensory experiences. Is it at least stable, permanent, unchanging? Let's look closely. And changing is exactly what your body does. Right now, in this very moment, millions of cells are dying. Millions are being born. Every second, 25 million cells die in your body. Every second, 25 million new cells are created. By the time this video ends, billions of your cells will be different. And over 7 years, almost every atom in your body will be replaced. So, which body is you? Now let's look at the mind. Close your eyes for a moment. Notice your thoughts. One thought appears. then disappears. Another arises, then fades. Emotions come and go. Sensations arise and pass away. The mind, just like the body, is not still. It is a flowing process, moment by moment by moment. According to the Buddha, the mind is not a thing. It's an event, a happening. Each moment of consciousness arises, dependent on conditions. What you see, what you hear, what you remember, what you desire. And then, it's gone, replaced by the next moment. Modern neuroscience confirms this. Brain activity is never static. Neural patterns fire and fade in milliseconds. What you call your mind is actually a constantly changing stream of mental events. So if your mind changes every moment, which mind is you? So let's put this together. Your body, mostly empty space, constantly changing, not solid at all. Your mind, a flowing stream of moments, never the same twice. Then, who are you? Here's what both quantum physics and Buddhism discovered. What you call I, what you call me, is not a fixed, permanent thing. It's a process, a pattern, a temporary organization of energy and experience. The you that you think exists is actually a mental construct, a story your mind creates moment by moment, to make sense of this constantly changing flow. Think about it. When you say I am angry, there's anger arising in the mind, but is anger you? When you say I am thinking, there are thoughts appearing, but are thoughts you? Or is there something that simply witnesses all of this? The Buddha called this Anattā, not self. Not because you don't exist, but because what you think you are, is not what you actually are. You are not a noun. You are a verb. Not a thing, but a happening. Not solid, but flowing. The I you think exists is like a wave in the ocean. The wave appears, has a form, seems separate, but it's never apart from the ocean. And soon, it returns to the ocean. Was the wave ever really separate? Or was it always just water, temporarily taking a form? Now you might be wondering, why does this matter? Here's why. When you believe I is a fixed, solid, permanent thing, you suffer. Because everything this I clings to, changes. Your body ages, relationships end, possessions break, success fades. And this I, this imaginary fixed self, desperately tries to hold on, to stay the same, to control the uncontrollable. But when you see clearly, when you understand that you are not a solid thing, but a flowing process, something incredible happens. You stop fighting reality. You stop trying to freeze the river. You begin to flow with it. This is not depressing. This is liberating. when you understand that there's no fixed you that can be threatened. Fear begins to dissolve. When you see that thoughts and emotions are just passing events. Not yours, just events. You stop being trapped by them. This is the beginning of real freedom. Not the freedom to make the self perfect, but the freedom from the illusion of a fixed self altogether. So here's what you can do right now. For the next few days, simply observe. Watch your thoughts come and go. Notice, are they permanent? Or do they change? Notice your emotions arise and fade. Ask yourself, if my emotions change, are they really me? Feel the sensations in your body. Tingling, warmth, tension. Notice, they come, they go. And then ask the deepest question. Is there something that watches all of this? Something that doesn't change, even as everything else does? Don't answer with your thinking mind. Just observe. The question, who am I, is not meant to be answered with words. It's meant to be investigated directly, through your own experience. What both modern science and ancient wisdom reveal is this: you are not a solid, separate, permanent thing. You are a beautiful, temporary, ever-changing process, part of the vast dance of energy and consciousness. And when you truly see this, something profound shifts. In our next episode, we'll explore what happens when you deeply observe the nature of thoughts. Until then, keep watching, keep questioning, keep discovering. Because the truth is not something I can give you. It's something you must see for yourself. Thank you for being part of this journey. See you in the next episode.